Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you are brand new to my channel, yay, you finally made it. I'm so glad. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you for returning. I really appreciate your support. And keep those comments coming. If you're a subscriber, you know I always reply to every comment that shows up. So I love hearing what your comments are about the movies and even my reviews. And by the way, if you like my reviews and they help you, give them a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, enough of all of that. So my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called This Is Me Now, a Love Story. This dynamic musical romance is now playing on Amazon Prime Video. The rating is probably an R simply because of language, I would say. I'll give you some more tips for parents here in just a minute. And the length is an hour and 5 minutes. So it's not really a feature film, but it's also not a movie short. So it's somewhere in between. My overall movie review mom grade is probably overall a C plus. And so let me explain why. First, I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like. I'll offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar, or at least star Jennifer Lopez that I think you'll really like in case they flew under your radar. All right, so in a nutshell, this short feature film is a self-reflective look and musical montage about how Jennifer Lopez tried to find love while also on a journey to love herself. It's absolutely stunning to look at with powerful music, and it coincides with the release of Jennifer Lopez's new album of the same name. Wow, talk about a marketing gimmick, right? Jennifer Lopez fans will probably get a kick out of this vanity project. I'm a fan and I actually did enjoy it. However, I recognize it's not going to resonate with most others. She co wrote it, stars in it, and even paid for the whole enchilada herself. That's how passionate she was about this project. The film was directed by Dave Meyers, who also contributed to the story and worked very closely with Jennifer Lopez on bringing her vision to life. Let me give you some quick tips for parents. There is some profanity, including F-bombs, which is why I'm giving it a rating of R. And then we see a lot of skimpy outfits with cleavage and stuff like that. But that's pretty much what we always see in her music videos. So it's par for the course. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are true love, learning to love yourself, being comfortable with being alone, friendship, zodiac signs, relationships, addiction, and being the best version of yourself. So here's the list of things that I really liked about this movie. First of all, congratulations to Jennifer for all of her decades of success. She is beautiful in this and has proven that she has been able to figure out new ways to cash in on her incredible talent and her tabloid relationships. And that's pretty clever. The cast is packed with big names like Jane Fonda, Ben Affleck, of course, her current love, Fat Joe, Trevor Noah, Post Malone, Sofia Vergara, Kiki Palmer, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Derek Huff, and so many more. Jennifer Lopez explained in a documentary, quote, "It's not anything that's been done before. It's not quite a long form music video, and it's not quite a movie. It's somewhere in between," end quote. Exactly. The album was created first, and then she wanted to present the music visually in this film, which is a unique way of advertising this album. And again, I think it's pretty clever. The album is kind of a twin of her older album done 20 years ago called This Is Me Then. And I wonder if she knew ahead of time that she was going to do an album called This Is Me Now. If so, clever indeed. The choreography by Luther Brown is absolutely fantastic and hits hard. And she is great as a dancer as much as she is a singer. Even better are the dancers who bring this choreography to life in very dynamic ways. There's a lot of humor that often made me laugh out loud. And some of the lines are funny by themselves, but I think it's often the person who speaks the line that makes it funnier. The set designs are unbelievably gorgeous, dripping with money or dripping with things that cost oodles of money. The budget for this film was enormous, self-financed by Jennifer Lopez at $20 million. Wow. Very impressive CGI and visual effects by a very large team. The introduction lets you instantly know that great attention to detail has been designed in the film. And you can tell it is a passion project because there are so many little details that you could have easily skimped on the budget, but you can tell that Jennifer Lopez wanted it to be perfect. She had a very specific vision and it came to life. The luscious costume design was by Mariel Hain, Kelly Johnson, and Rob Zangardi. Beautiful costumes. Now, I've been to Puerto Rico, but I'd never heard of the hummingbird flower love story about Alida and Taru. Have you? And I speak Spanish fluently and know about a lot of the cultural myths and legends, but I'd never heard that. And so I loved how she incorporated that into her own love story. And I don't know if that's really what inspired her as a young girl that we're told in the story, or if they just were looking for something or maybe they even made it up. I don't know. I didn't actually Google it to see if it's actually a real story, but it was a nice analogy. I wonder how long they had to wait for it to rain in the film in the street scene. It didn't look like a set with green screen, but a real street in a real city. Maybe I'm wrong, and that just shows you how good the visual effects team really is. Technically, the movie ends at only 53 minutes, but keep watching during the rolling credits at the end to see some more funny clips. Now, most of them are during the first part of the rolling credits, but there is one more scene or little clip at the very, very end that'll make you laugh. Now, if you enjoy this film, you'll be happy to know that there is a documentary about how this movie was made, where we get to see behind the scenes clips, a look at her past events throughout her career, and honest commentary with Jennifer herself. It's called The Greatest Love Story Never Told. Now, there's a funny moment in it where Ben Affleck is like, well, if you're telling everybody, then it isn't the greatest story never told, right? Which is a very good point, but it tells their love story. And I hope that they stay together and can grow old together for the rest of their lives. We'll see. Now, there were just a couple of things that I didn't like. And one is a big one that a lot of people are saying, and that is it felt like just a bunch of music videos very loosely tied together with a self-indulgent story. And the story is very weak and the dialogue is weak and it's just a bit messy. And I agree that's true. However, for what it is and the amount of money and love and attention and passion that was thrown into this, I did still enjoy it. I didn't know that that's what this was going to be. I rarely watch trailers anymore, and often I'll just look at the movie poster, or I'll get a press screener from a studio and just say, "Great, I'll do it. I'll watch it and I'll review it." And then I dive right in, and oftentimes I'm surprised. And that was the case with this one. I didn't know it was sort of a really elongated music video advertisement for her album. But even still, I did enjoy it. When I first turned it on, I was like, whoa, what is this? And so just now you know. When I watch movies, I always take notes, and specifically, I write down funny lines and interesting lines so that I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the dialogue and the screenwriting quality and all of that. You can see all of these that I wrote on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share some of them with you right now. So on the funny lines, there were many more, but one that I just happened to write down was when Jennifer Lopez plays not herself, even though the story is about herself, but her character's name is Artist Self. And there is a big element of the zodiac sign. And so she's talking to somebody and she says, "You're such a Taurus." And people are kind of comparing which relationships are going to work based on their horoscope, and the zodiac signs. So I'm curious if you believe in zodiac wisdom. I'm actually a Cancer, and I never liked that because I always thought as a little girl growing up, does that mean I'm going to get cancer? They could have easily come up with a better name for it. Of course, they named it long before we knew what cancer was, but still, they could rename it like they rename so many things nowadays. But anyway, comment down below. Let me know what your zodiac sign is and if you feel like it really describes you well and that you live by your horoscopes. Now, with some interesting lines, I wrote down lines that I thought were interesting based on the content, but also who said them. For example, the first line is spoken by Neil deGrasse Tyson, who we know is this expert in astronomy, the stars and space and all of that. And so he says, "The stars hold all the power." And I thought it was an interesting line too, because does the line mean Jennifer Lopez has so much power and influence? And we see, of course, the rise of incredible power of Taylor Swift lately, or was he really just simply talking about the stars? I don't know. What do you think? Another interesting line is spoken by Jennifer Lopez, her character, and she says, "Being with you feels like home, but I left home for a reason." At first I was like, "Oh," and then when she finishes the line, I'm like, "Oh." Maybe that's in the category of funny lines. I don't know. But it was sweet because one of my sons got married, and during their reception, he gave a little speech, and then his wife gave a little speech. And she said, the reason why she married my son was because he makes her feel like she's home. And I love that sentiment, especially when it comes to romance and love and knowing if the person you want to marry is that right person. Anyway, another line that I thought was interesting that is sort of a defense, really, of this movie from Jennifer Lopez is a line that her character says, which is, "I've always had a restless heart." And that's to illustrate why, or explain away maybe, why she has bounced, from husband to husband to husband. And she's so wants to be able to grow old with one person. And it's that restlessness, maybe telling her that person wasn't the right one. So again, I hope that she does find the right one. And hopefully it's Ben Affleck, who she is right now. We'll see. All right, I just scrolled down on my notes and I found 3 other lines that I want to share with you. One is when Jennifer Lopez says, "I like the rain. Magical things happen." And something magical does happen in a couple of the rain scenes, actually. Another line that she says to her therapist is, "Never give up," which is great advice. And then a funny line, but also a good line, was spoken by Ben Affleck's character. He plays this real cheesy news anchor named Rex. And he says, "Loving yourself means never having to say, 'I'm lonely.'" And I like that. Again, one of the big themes of the movie is learning to love yourself and to be okay with being alone with yourself. Now, let me give you recommendations for 3 Jennifer Lopez movies that you might have missed, or if you've just discovered Jennifer Lopez and you want to know more about her. The first movie is called Enough. And in this movie, she really stretches her acting chops, and she's just fighting for herself and for her life and running from bad guys. And she's really good and intense, and she's got the physicality to back it up. Another one is a rom-com called Shotgun Wedding. Now, it wasn't fantastic, but if you like Jennifer Lopez, it was entertaining, and she's gorgeous in it. And then the last one is an older one where Jennifer Lopez first starred in a movie with Jane Fonda, who is also in this movie. It's called Monster in Law. And again, it wasn't the greatest rom-com ever, but if you like Jane Fonda and if you like Jennifer Lopez, it was cute, it was likable, and it's got Jennifer Lopez in it. All right, that's it. I hope if you watch this that you do enjoy it, now that you know a little bit more about it. And if my reviews are helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below, all of that kind of stuff. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.